All right, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the tricks and the traps of the Integrated Speaking Task 4. This is the one about the lecture where you have to summarize what the professor is speaking about. So let's just get into it. So first of all, this is similar to the last one with the problem and solution. But instead of problem stacking, with this one, they will be doing topic stacking. Now, they won't always do this, but this is one of the tricks that they do use. Basically, what that would mean is that the person starts speaking about different topics and subjects. And then after they talk about that, then they will say something like, well, over the last couple weeks, we've been talking about blah, 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 blah. And last week we discussed this and that. And now today I would like to talk about this. Now that's a shortened version of it, but they could end up talking about different topics and subjects. And then after that, then they will mention what the main subject of the lecture that they're going to be talking about then. So obviously there's not really anything that you can do beforehand to know if what they're talking about is the main topic. You just have to take notes on everything that they said. And then when they finally get to the one where they said, today we'll like to talk about this, or, eventually when they do get to the one thing, which is the main point, as I state here, once they get to that point, it will be very clear that that's the main one. So they will waste your note-taking efforts a little bit with the first few things that they say, because obviously you can't know until once you get to that point, but that is something that they like to do. So that's the only one that you really need to pay attention to as far as this particular task. Another thing is that sometimes the supporting details or the subtopics might not be very distinct. In other words, they're not going to say, today we're going to be talking about this particular subject, which can be broken down into two main ideas, this one and that one. Sometimes they're not going to be that clear when they talk about it. They might just talk about the main topic, and then they start giving you details. Now, you'll obviously have to be writing down whatever notes that they tell you as far as these details, but it might not be very clear, the distinction between the different subtopics, until after you hear the whole audio file and you get a chance to look at your notes. Then it might be a little bit more clear. So even in those situations, because you only have 20 seconds to prepare, if you know what the main topic is and you just have a list of different supporting details and they can't really be categorized into two different topics, don't worry about it. Just speak about the main details that they give in support of the main topic. If they give you clearly distinct subtopics, like, this and that, well, then you obviously talk about it. If they just give you a list of details that are related to the main topic, just explain it the very best way that you can. Now, as I also mentioned right here, I have seen this happen with some different examples in textbooks, but in my experience, I can only really say that this is a problem with the textbooks themselves. I've only seen this example in textbooks. I've never heard of anyone actually experiencing this problem on the exam. But since I do see it in textbooks, I wanted to put it here just so that you are forewarned that they might not have such clearly defined subtopics. But in that case, like I said, just speak about the details that are related to the main topic as best as you possibly can. And that's really it for the tricks. As far as the traps, it's basically the same thing. For this one, it would be not stating the main topic or subject, not stating the supporting details or subtopics, not showing how all the information is related, because, they have the main topic and then they have the supporting details. If you're not able to discuss how the supporting details are in relation to the main topic, well, that's actually more of a language problem. That would probably only happen if your English level is not quite high enough to actually take the TOEFL exam. But that's really not going to be a problem for anyone who is taking these courses, so we won't have to worry about that too much, but it is something that you can get graded down on. Then simply stating information, but not clearly summarizing the lecture. That's kind of like this one, not showing how the information is related. If you're just basically reading your notes and not really putting it together into a cohesive statement, then it's probably going to cause you to get graded down. And of course, just with all of the speaking section tasks, finishing your response too early and not finishing your response in time. But you're not going to have to worry about that because you are going to practice with I was going to say with as many examples as possible, but what I mean to say is practice as many times as possible with each example that you have. So even if you get to a point where you have a perfect answer for one particular example, do it again and try to say it a little bit differently. And that's really how you're going to get to the point where you can speak in this way to fulfill this task without even really having to try. You'll basically just look at your notes and speak. You'll have the perfect length of time, and you'll have all of the information structured in a way where it fulfills all of the necessary requirements for this task. That's what you're going to get with practice. So that's pretty much it. And for the next lesson, we are going to be talking about the master skills. So thank you for stopping by, and we will see you in that next lesson. Have an excellent day.